To the big game. You know, one of the most frequent requests we get at Drury Outdoors is to do other species within our video collection. And you know, we're so known for whitetails and wild turkeys. Well, Terry and I decided to venture outside that genre with the entire Drury Outdoors team, and we challenged them to go collect hunts from across North America. We wanted to see top-notch excitement, but we also wanted to showcase the beauty that our country and this whole continent has to offer. And I think our first segment here with John Odell and Dave Ryner really starts us off on the right track. Let's go to Alaska for a true Alaskan caribou adventure.
Almost every red-blooded American hunter dreams of boarding a small float plane only to be transported to a remote location, then dropped off in the middle of Alaska on the hunt of a lifetime. Hello, I'm Terry Drury of Drury Outdoors. Well, I certainly know that's been a lifelong dream of mine, but I'm not the lucky recipient of this dream come true. Instead, our dear friends John Odell and Dave Ryner lead off our adventure across North America. John and Dave set out on an unimaginable trek in search of migrating herds of caribou. And what better way to do just that than from the air? The breathtaking scenery is spectacular. You quickly realize how infinitely small we really are in the cycle of life. Not long into the journey, John spots more than his eyes can perceive. Not hundreds, but thousands of caribou, temporarily held up while feeding during their migratory mission.
Well, it's almost hard to believe that I'm actually here in Alaska. It's been a lifelong dream of mine, actually, since I was a small child, to have the opportunity to come up here. And fortunately, thanks to Bill Wooden, he flew us in today on the float plane, and we flew over several thousand caribou. So I'm sure I won't get much sleep tonight in anticipation of tomorrow's hunt. Like I say, it's a lifelong dream come true.
Setting up base camp was a snap. Unfortunately, the nearest body of water with which to land the float plane was a grueling 5 to 6 mile trek from the herd, but it's well worth the pain.
Wow, I've never seen anything like that in my life. This is just unbelievable. What an awesome sight.
So many eyes and so many noses make it much more difficult than just a few. One errand move or slight whiff can cause the entire herd to bolt.
Oh, like I said, we were trying to slip up on these up on this hill, and I heard something in the rocks. So we ran up here, and there was another herd, but there was just a small bull, not a shooter, young bull, and a lot of cows, young ones.
Now, the painstaking task of cat and mouse, spot and stalk begins to unfold. Here's where John's mental and physical preparedness plays a key factor in maneuvering. These mobile creatures now become moving targets. A routine shot is out of the question.
I think if we slip right up here, the herds are right on this edge, and there was a good bull in the rear, so hopefully he's still there.
A snap decision, then positive identification and comfortable but sound rest for an accurate shot is imperative. John must be ready to act quickly.
There it is, right there. I can't believe it. Bob Parker loaded these bullets, and I'm telling you, there's something. That's a big animal, and when that bullet hit him, he hit the ground. This has been a spectacular hunt. We've been
This has been a lifelong dream come true for me. We started this morning. We had about a 5-mile hike from our campsite. These caribou are up in these hilltops because it's been hot and humid. It's so buggy down below us. So they're getting up and they're laying in these snow caps and cooling off and getting out of the bugs. And the challenge that presents is when they're up high like this, there's no cover and they can see for miles and they're herded up, and so it's extremely difficult to get on a good bull. And then when you do get on the bull, because they're herded up, it's hard to pick one out and make a clean shot and not have to worry about hitting other caribou. So fortunately, we finally put it all together on this bull. Like I say, this has been a dream hunt. It's a hunt I'll remember for the rest of my life. What a great bull.
Caribou, until recently, ranged from Spitsbergen and Scandinavia to eastern Siberia. They are also native to North America and are divisible into 2 types: the northern or barren ground caribou of the tundra and taiga, and the woodland caribou of Canadian forest. Caribou stand 2.5 to 4.5 feet at the shoulder and weigh as much as 660 pounds. John Odell fulfilled a lifelong dream. Now let's see if Dave Ryner can be as fortunate.
What a dreary overcast day. When we flew into Alaska, it was bright sunny skies, and highs were getting in the 70s, which is a little high for here. Today it's just been overcast. It's real foggy, and these caribou are staying right near the tops. They're getting out of the buggy areas, and we're going to try to keep on this big herd. We've got a big herd, probably, I'm guessing, 3,000 caribou, and we're just going to try to keep flanking until we can get a shot.
Very few lucky individuals on Earth have either witnessed or even imagined unbelievable numbers of caribou migrating over wide open expanses of terrain. Dave and John's difficult task at hand is to attempt to get within a couple of 100 yards or less, having chosen muzzleloaders as the firearms of preference. A huge undertaking, to say the least.
This is just amazing. Utterly amazing. Man, I can't even believe it. Look at all those caribou. Oh my gosh.
Flanking, maneuvering, or spot and stalk becomes more and more tedious as time goes on. Dave elects to try another tactic.
What we decided to do is just sit on this hilltop. There's a major funnel route. We saw at least 3 bands of caribou heading up to the higher hills come right across us. One of them was when John was down getting the packs, and I'm sitting up here by his kill. A band went right by me and I filmed it. I couldn't do anything about it but film it, so that was one of them. Then we've had another one go by, so we're just going to sit right here. As long as you sit still, these caribou aren't that wary. As long as you sit still, as soon as you make any movement, they run off. But we'll see how it happens. Right there. Oh my gosh, what a feeling. What a feeling. You work so hard. We had to camp because we flew in on a float plane 6 miles away. All these caribou are hanging high because of the high heat. And we climbed these mountains and we've been chasing them all day. We decided just quit chasing them and just sit down and wait for another band to come across us. And they came across and they came back up, and it's awesome. I think he's a nice one. As you can see, we got a bear behind us, and my caribou is right over here. We've kind of been and walking on eggshells, but it's getting late. It's about 5 o'clock, and we need to get to my caribou. We're 6 miles. That's about 3.5, 4 hours. So we won't even finish my caribou tonight. We'll just get to it, make sure it's there, and hope that the bear doesn't eat it overnight. Hopefully he goes for John's gut pile or something, one of the other ones. But it's kind of scary when you're out here all by yourself and you got a bear like that. But here's my caribou. Whew, just ran over the hill a little bit.
Dave is either really brave or really crazy, halfway between a live bear and a dead caribou. Our congratulations to Dave and John.
This is just awesome. What a hunt of a lifetime. And he was the biggest bull in the herd that I saw, so I'm not an expert on caribou. I don't know what he'll score, but it doesn't really matter to me. Just the fact that I'm out here in Alaska, fulfilling a lifelong dream to hunt these caribou, and to get that privilege because Bob Parker wanted us to test his new muzzleloader bullet, and Bill Wooden was gracious enough to fly us in last night, and this was the result. What an awesome, awesome hunt. My best friend in the world, John Odell, killed his about eight hours ago, and I was fortunate enough to get this one right before dark here. So it's awesome. You can't explain it when you actually fulfill a lifelong dream like this. And just to be out here, it's just wonderful. Well, Bob, I certainly have to appreciate you and Bill inviting us out here into the greater Alaska area and hunting these caribou. It's been a pleasurable hunt.
It is super country, is it not?
It is, and we're expecting hopefully caribou movement yet tonight. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about your Parker Hydrocon bullet here. Tell us a little bit about why you developed the Hydrocon and what its process basically does.
Well, there's a lot of factors that went into the development of the bullet, but the main thing was we wanted a clean, quick kill on the animals. We were looking for something that made it so we didn't have to trail them. And over the years, we found out that the principle that we placed in the Hydrocon just makes that possible. This bullet's designed to penetrate just inside that rib cage and then transfer tremendous terminal energy right there. That's where we want it to work, in the heart and lung area. And our experience has been, in 15 years, I personally have shot one deer that did not die where he was, and I just didn't hit him good. The bullet has an internal expansion principle applied to that bullet. There's a cavity in the bullet. It has a hydraulic expanding system. We found that when we shot with traditional bullets, we usually had a tracking job, and our purpose was just to make that not happen.
So what have you found so far in the use of it?
Well, like you found on this trip, one-shot kills have been usually that's what we expect. I can think of only one time that we have not had a one-shot kill where we didn't have to track, and that's been in 15 years.
Well, like I said, I have to thank both you and Bill Wooden for inviting us out, and hopefully in the next day or day and a half we can get you on one of these.
Well, if we don't, that's why they call it hunting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate it.
Definitely mine.
I remember when Dave and John returned back from Alaska, we were really pleased to get them back safe and sound, and they likened that hunt to Dances with Wolves. Whenever they came up over those first mountains and saw all of those groups of caribou, there was nothing that they could say. They couldn't put it in words how breathtaking and how beautiful it was. And I think if there's a tip or information that you bring out of a hunt or an experience like that, is you have to do your research before you go. We were on invitation there from Bill Wooden of 4W Air up there in Alaska. He dropped Dave and John off, and they did a lot of research into different outfitters and what it takes to go up there and what type of equipment you need. And Bill was very good at helping them along with that research so that when they got there, they were prepared. They were prepared for an intense amount of spot and stalk. They were prepared for really, really cold nights out there on the Alaskan tundra. They were prepared for long hike-ins and long pack-outs once they succeeded with their caribou. So You have to be prepared whenever you go that far from home. Here's two guys from Iowa that went all the way to Alaska, killed two monstrous caribou. They did it on film, and they did it successfully. Now let's go a little bit further south and talk about the whitetail's cousin, the mule deer.
Beautiful Devil's Tower is just one of many spectacular sights in the picturesque state of Wyoming. Mark and I have been fortunate enough to travel to the far corners of our beautiful country, but this is our first time to this great state. Even though I'm in search of a mule deer, the antelope, or more commonly referred to as pronghorn, dot the sprawling landscape in rather moderately attractive numbers. A delight to observe, these creatures are extremely fleet of foot, covering great distances in short periods of time.
Look at his cutters. He only had about half this many does yesterday. Boy, look at him run them little bucks off them does.
He's a pretty good buck.
Yeah. He's got exceptional cutters on him.
How tall you think he is? He 14?
He might be a little bit better than 14.
14 and a half?
Looking at him.
Well, he's running, isn't he?
He's heavy too. He's heavy. Right now they're just coming out of the rut and he's protecting all them does.
Kind of wish I was antelope hunting.
Not a bad day for it, huh?
Oh, right here. These are all does, ain't they? There ain't bucks with them?
I don't see any horns
They're all
yet.
does. Just stay still, let me on.
Boy, there's a bunch of them. Yeah. All those. I don't see any horns in them.
No, it's all does.
All right, let's get to that big buck.
Let's back out.
Well, the buck's up the draw here to our north, so we'll come up over this ridge, wind in our favor.
You don't want to get down in there?
No, I believe
Oh, that's good.
good south wind from us.
So you want to go
We'll
back
come
and
up.
over the top?
Over the top, get into the next draw,
Well, I hate to lose sight of him, but let's try that.
and I think we'll be right on top of him.
Feeling somewhat like a fish out of water because the majority of our hunting is done typically in blocks of hardwood timber near agricultural tracts or CRP fields, I learned rather quickly that this wide open terrain offers numerous crevices, breaks, and canyons for muleys to hide.
Yes. You on him? No. I'm on him. There he is. Got him. He's down there. I've got to see him now. Let's go.
Congratulations.
He's a good buck.
He is a good buck. 4x4, high guards.
Tumble T Ranch Whitetail Creek Outfitters, man. Thank you. This is my first mule deer, believe it or not, as long as we've been hunting the first muley.
That's hard to believe.
Isn't it though? I'll tell you, that was a neat plan that you had. We We saw a lot of antelope this morning, some pretty good bucks. That one buck chasing that other small buck around.
That was nice.
We saw a few muleys early, and we were getting a little bit skeptical as to whether or not we were going to see a shooter. And
I told you we'd have one down by noon.
You did. You said that. And, you know, we've hunted all over the country, and we hear stuff like that, and, you know, until you can actually see it for yourself. We're from Missouri, where that show me state. It's like, show us what you're actually talking about. And you did. You showed us this guy. We saw that first little buck, saw that doe bedded, and you had a great game plan about getting around on him, trying to come up over the top. It was a brilliant plan, and it worked like it's supposed to, worked like a charm.
Well, thank you very much. I've seen a lot of guys shoot a lot of guns, but I've never seen anybody shoot with something like this on there. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
It's kind of an apparatus, isn't it? Well, I didn't do what I was supposed to. In my panic, I guess I didn't press the record button. We're trying to come up with a little bit different angle or different view, and we've got this camera mounted onto our firearms, obviously, and I guess in all my haste I pushed it twice or something, but I thought I was recording the whole time, and I didn't. But as luck would have it, we still got it on video, and it was a great hunt, and all I can do is say thank you to you guys. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, now tell me how we're going to get him out of here.
Very careful.
Well, let's go do it. Big mule deer bucks were once viewed as the dumb cousins of the whitetail. Not anymore. The hunter wanting to tag a mature mule deer these days has his work cut out for him. Living at high elevation or in remote habitats, old muleys are not only tough to find and hunt, they're as wary as any whitetail. Mule deer are often associated with the Rocky Mountain West, but they live in a variety of habitats. The deserts of the Southwest, the plains of Kansas and Colorado, and the Badlands of the Dakotas. Trophy bucks sport incredible antlers, with high forked tines and spreads of 30 inches or more. It's no wonder some hunters compare drawing a license to hunt a known trophy area to winning a lottery. Muley bucks are big-bodied too. Their barrel chests and large frames enable them to far outweigh their whitetail relatives. But numbers and measurements explain only a small part of why we treasure mule deer. The more important reason, the thrill of pursuing them in their wild, lonely environment, is what keeps hunters looking for mule deer every fall.
Pretty spectacular view of Devil's Tower.
How far are we from that right here?
Believe it or not, that's probably still 10 miles away.
Well, it shows you how open this country is.
Mark, much like myself, is simply awestruck by the beautiful scenic views that surround you. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, only to find yourself gazing into the sky when suddenly an alert muley catches you with your guard down.
Well, in that case, they spotted us. One thing about a mule deer, they got great eyesight. One little movement, you know, and they caught us.
As warm southerly breezes slowly cause the temperature to climb, Mark and crew elect to switch positions and trudge onward, only to bump into a few unsuspecting candidates.
There's some does moving down this. There she is right there.
But then, as in most arid regions, as sunset transpires and nightfall becomes imminent, the cool temperatures return, and Mark finds himself in just the right position on the last evening's hunt, as he very willingly does his part to aid in managerial efforts.
She's coming this way. a nice big mature muley doe. Hey, that was neat. Last evening of the hunt out here in Wyoming, we've had a fantastic hunt. Terry killed a beautiful muley buck, and things just didn't work out to where we could get another one. And you know how committed we are to management. We finally said, let's go try and take a mature muley doe, because we've seen quite a few, and I think we just got a nice one. Let's go take a look at her. There she fell right here in all this sagebrush. Look at the nice head on that mule deer doe. That's a big old doe. We're used to our Midwestern whitetails. Look at the ears on that gal. Trophy mule deer doe, I guess, huh? You know, Terry and I have been out here all week, and Terry was able to take a really nice 4x4. And you know, I would have loved to have doubled that up with another nice buck, but things weren't coming together. And sometimes you have to become a realist and realize that you may not go home with a trophy buck. Not everybody can. It's unlikely, quite frankly. And we said, hey, this last afternoon, let's go out and enjoy ourselves and set our sights on a mature doe and do our part for the management of this herd, because we've seen a good number of muley does. And lo and behold, we got on one here the last hour of the hunt, and she's a very big-bodied, big mature doe. And you know, wherever you're hunting, whether it's out west for mule deer or back home in the Midwest or out east, and whatever your herd is, you got to look at what you're seeing. And if you're seeing a lot of does, maybe you ought to think twice about shooting another buck. And that's what we did. We took a doe, and we're going home. Happy campers, to say the least. I think one of the common things that a hunter must keep in mind whenever they venture west is to make sure you're prepared with all the gear that you possibly need, particularly your footwear, because unlike here in the Midwest, where we have a tendency to wear lacrosse boots for a short walk into the stand and you sit there and you worry about your scent, out there you may put 6 or 7 miles on in a day because the terrain is so open. You have to cover more ground, use all the wrinkles of cover that you can to find game, and that's exactly what Terry and I experienced out there in Devil's Tower, Wyoming area with those mule deer. You've got to be prepared whenever you go out west. Number one, your optics have to be top of the line. I mentioned your footwear and the clothing you wear. You got to be prepared for more of a walking game than you do a sitting game, and that's really the information that I wanted to bring about there. You know, just about the time you thought you saw some good mule deer hunts, we kind of saved the best for last in our mule deer section. Let's go to Canada with John Odell for a truly breathtaking bow hunting adventure for a 190 class muley.
We're heading up to Canada on an unforgettable spot and stalk hunt for an unbelievable mule deer buck. Once again, John Odell with Dave Ryner behind the camera team up for another memorable hunt in the northern frontier. One can only imagine the thrill John must feel when he sees this magnificent buck.
We've got a really nice buck, bedded just over this lip. We snuck in from probably 300 yards away, and now we're just gonna sit here and wait till he stands up, and hopefully he'll give us a shot. He's only about 20 yards, but it's too brushy, and we're gonna let him stand up and make a move before we do anything. I just need to calm down.
Up and shoot. 30 yards. 30. Yep. Stand up his quarter. Yep. Okay. His head's down.
frazzled. Oh, thank you so much. I thought my heart was gonna fly out of my chest. How long have we been sitting here?
Oh, probably 3.5 hours.
He was bedded there, and finally he stood up, but then he was looking right at us. Then he finally turned and gave me a quarter-way shot. And you said stand up, take him. I never even saw the deer. I just stood up and drew back. And
I think he
took
was
the
going
shot.
to bed back down again. I think he just got up to stretch his legs. So
Oh wow!
just perfect timing.
Oh, I can't hardly talk. I can't even think. I guess we better go get a look at him.
Yeah, you'll be happy.
Awesome. He's huge. Oh, thank you so much, Elton. That was awesome.
Yeah, you made a great shot too.
How
After
long-
sitting for so long?
I'd say, how long did we sit there?
I don't know, 3.5 hours, maybe 4. It seemed like all morning and part of the afternoon anyways.
It seemed like forever, and I just kept telling myself, stay calm. As a matter of fact, I was telling myself, oh, he's just a small one. Don't think about the rack.
Oh, yeah.
And then you said, whatever you do, don't look at his rack and just pick a spot. And that's what I tried to do, and I was lucky enough to make a good shot. But is that how most of your hunts go then for the spot and stock here in Alberta? And then get
Well,
set up
they're
on
not always near this size for starters.
They're not always the
That's
size,
what we
huh?
try to do is get them in a bedded position so we can make the move on them. And
Holy
a lot of people don't believe it can happen that way, but we've had success with that.
I'd say I'm looking at success right now.
Oh, I think so.
All right, well, thank you so much. Let's, I guess now the work starts. Let's get him drug out of here.
Can you imagine what type of thoughts must have been going through John Odell's mind as he lay there 5 or 6 hours waiting for that gigantic mule deer buck to stand up? Or can you imagine what was going through David Reisner's mind as he lay there waiting to turn that record button on and get that buck when he stood up? And it just turned out to be as beautiful and as exciting video as I've seen as far as a big mule deer buck. To my knowledge, it's one of the largest ever harvested on film with a bow. Now let's turn our attention to the wild turkey. I don't think any big game tape would be complete in the Drury Outdoors library without some wild turkey hunts. Let's go to Iowa with my very good friend, Tad Brown. Get him again. That was definitely gone. Okay. Let's get back here.
Here comes a hen. The gobbler's right behind her.
Yeah. Good shot, Tad. Fired up. That's sticky,
Man, that guy had a gobble on him. He just about lifted my hat off every time he hit it.
Well, Tad, that's about as good a goblin hunt as we've seen in a long time, thanks to Keenan over there.
Yep.
A lot of action, a lot of action.
I appreciate the help calling, guys.
Man, it took a
Everything.
bunch of different sounds. You had the crystal going, which is what struck him. You had the your mouth call, which is the hyper hand.
Right.
I was using the illuminator at first. They wouldn't hit it. Went to the cherry bomb. Went to the poison 2. I mean, we had all kinds of sounds going, and it finally charged them up, and they gave you a shot there through the brush. But what a goblin hunt.
It seemed like they answered everything.
They
I
did.
mean, a little bit.
Finally,
He wouldn't.
yeah.
Seemed like changing the sounds was the key. I mean, he'd hit you, and then he'd hit Keenan, then he'd hit me, and then you'd change calls, and the variety.
Finally,
made the
they
difference.
started to come in, and
That's
boy,
what
when
it
you
took.
got the shot, you took him, didn't you?
What a big old Iowa turkey. Yes, I did.
You don't have to
First-
twist your arm, do
Don't
you?
have to tell me to shoot twice, that's for sure.
Now, Keenan, we've had some cold temperatures up here. I mean, lows in the 20s, you know, highs,
been-
high 20s.
Been, frozen water, frost, everything.
Yeah, we've
every
had a hard
morning.
frost every night.
The bugs really aren't out, but you guys make a product called the Bug Out Suit. And my mother was wearing one the other morning with me. She
good.
was using it as a cover-up, you know, because it is perfect camouflage. But tell us about what you and Bruce have got going on over there.
Well, we got them bug suits, Bug Out outdoor wear. It's made out of a no-seam mesh out of polyester. It's real fine, tightly woven material that you can wear not only to guard against ticks, mosquitoes, black flies, and all the creepy crawly biting insects. You can also wear it as a cool, lightweight camouflage. Before work, or if you're if you got a good place you want to go hunt and time's a problem of running home, throw that suit on, and you're getting 2 or 3 different covers at one. Bug protection, a cool lightweight camo, and plus when you get done, you can just wad it all up and put it in a little bitty bag about yay big, and you don't have a whole wardrobe of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine packs
Yeah.
in a little bag. I mean,
Yep.
you just pop it in the back of your vest and you got it.
It's ready to go, and it's made out of 100% polyester. So if you do wish to use a chemical like DEET or Permathon, it won't eat the material.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
I didn't know
there's
that.
another protection you got on top of that.
Boy, it sure helps these days. I mean, the ticks really aren't too bad just yet, but they're about to be here in another week or two.
Well.
And with Lyme's disease the way it is and everything, I think it's an outstanding product. What an outstanding hunt, guys. Congratulations.
this is
Tad.
great.
Great
This is-
turkey. Appreciate it, Keenan.
I live for this. This is great.
There are comeback stories, and then there are miracles. And to millions of sportsmen, the wild turkey is a miracle. The recovery of North American turkey populations in just a few decades represents one of the greatest wildlife management stories ever told. No wonder so many hunters love the wild turkey. We've literally watched flocks grow before our eyes. While sportsmen help turkeys achieve their comeback, the hardiness and adaptability of these great birds made our work easy. Turkeys seem able to call any place home. The Merriams of the Mountain West, the Rios inhabiting Texas and the Plains, Osceolas in Florida, and the Eastern, who's shown he can live from Maine to Mississippi. Come spring, there are few places in America where you can't hear a booming gobble announcing the dawn. And what that gobble has come to mean for hunters. Only a short while ago, hunting was something we did only in fall. Now, the spell of turkey hunting has expanded our time in the woods and our appreciation of this most noble of game birds. It is certainly nice to see more and more young ladies getting involved in such an interactive sport like turkey hunting.
He's coming through the grass.
It makes life so much simpler when the birds actually do what they're supposed to. Enjoy this fantastic cold weather Iowa hunt as Amy sits patiently.
That was an awesome hunt. We didn't think we were going to get these guys to come in, but saw one off in the distance and sat real still and got 3 strutters to come in. Unfortunately, didn't take the lead one, but did get one today, so real happy.
One of the largest obstacles we have to overcome as video producers is getting the same view or the same shot to the animal from the cameraman's view to the hunter's view. Even a distance as slight as 3 or 4 yards between the cameraman and hunter can mean drastic differences in their view. Amy did the right thing there as the hunter. Dave had the strutter on film, you know, a perfect view of it, but she really had a better shot to that back turkey, and that's the one she ended up taking. So if you venture afield, which we see so many of our viewers starting to do, if you go out there and start to lay down hunts, remember that the cameraman's view and the hunter's view always differs greatly. Now let's head to Texas with Joe Schultz and his son Evan as Joe films Evan on his very first whitetail buck.
It is our goal to showcase the future hunters of our beloved sport. Let's enjoy Evan Schultz's first hunt for a whitetail buck.
Okay, Evan, there's your buck.
Evan's father, Joe Schultz, is capturing all the action on camera while NRA member Brent Geisweit looks on. It's always important to have an experienced adult side by side with any young hunter.
Is that the one you want me to take?
You on him?
Yeah.
Okay, let him turn broadside.
All right.
All right, now let that doe get out of the way.
All right.
And just ease that safety off. Okay, when you're ready, just squeeze that trigger.
Okay.
I know firsthand that this young lad's father is quite proud of him, and rightfully so. Evan handles himself very well and portrays that of an older, very mature, and near professional hunter. It's quite impressive for a youngster. Seasoned veterans can take note of what kind of impact a positive role model and the proper training can and will do. I know I sure have.
This is my first Texas hunt, so I'm really excited. This is the first buck I've ever got, and it was slow this morning, but we had to be patient, and this is the first mature buck I've seen. He's a big old rascal, and I just can't wait to come back. This is my first hunt in Texas, and I'm here with my family, and I can't believe we got to do this, and one of the reasons why we get to do this so much is because of a great organization like the NRA. I wish more people would get involved with it, because I know if they did, they'd love it, and if they got their family involved, I know they'd love it too. And it's so much fun. Thank you, NRA.
Most members of the deer family require specialized habitats or lots of elbow room in order to survive. Not the whitetail, which thrives in the arid deserts of Mexico, the frigid forests of Canada, even the 5-acre woodlots of suburbia. It's little wonder then that when most sportsmen talk deer hunting, they mean whitetail. Though widespread and common, whitetails are still the country's most sought-after trophy. Whether it's a young hunter after his first doe or a veteran of many seasons pursuing a mature buck, whitetails fuel our dreams like no other animal. There's never a lack of challenge for the whitetail hunter. For some, it's getting that first buck. Others make the leap to chasing mature deer. Still others enjoy hunting whitetails in different habitats or managing a herd living on land that they own. No one has ever calculated the time, effort, and money that hunters spend each fall pursuing whitetail deer. If someone should, it's certain they'll prove what deer hunters have known for many, many years. The whitetail is one of the most cherished and important animals this country has ever known.
Oh yeah, that is a good rub, Josh. Yeah, I like how it's high and good sized tree. Now you're saying that there's rubs all through here pretty much like that, right along this fence line?
Yep.
And what's it lead into?
Goes right up to a little bean field.
And that's the bean field you were telling me about, the one that didn't get picked?
Yep, didn't get picked at all this year.
And you've been seeing some bucks there?
Oh yeah, quite a few, about every night.
Wow, all right, let's go check that out. Okay.
Well, here we are, and this is the spot that Josh showed me the other night. It's a bean field. It hasn't been picked yet. And he said the deer have been funneling out right out here on this point, which is about 100 yards from where we're going to be set up along this fence line. But we're just going to sit here. It's noon, and it's supposed to get down single digits and below zero with the wind chill factor. So we're just going to sit here all night, and hopefully we'll have some luck. We're going to get set up right here.
John Odell accompanies Josh White in a spot that he's all too familiar with. We talk about late-season food plots at great length in numerous other productions, but the magnetism of standing beans is unsurpassed in the frigid temperatures.
He's right there, Josh. He's a good pup. I'm going to range him. He's a good deer. Go ahead, get on him. He's a shooter. Okay, now he's at 113. Congratulations. Yes. Yes, good job. Thanks. There he is. Let's go take a look at him. Okay. That's a nice buck, Josh. Go shot.
Well, congratulations, Josh. And again, thank you for letting us come out and hunt. And what we wanted to do tonight was come out and hopefully film you harvest a mature buck, and in return for letting us hunt. And it sure worked out. That's a great buck, and you made a great shot. So, congratulations.
Well, this is one of the better hunts I've ever had.
It's always great to see a young person harvest a nice buck, and perfect shot placement is what you always want to see. So, great job. It's a great buck.
Thanks a lot.
There comes a doe right now. Yeah, no buttons. That's an adult right there.
That's right, you heard correctly. No buttons. The first rule of good sound management and firearm safety. is positive identification, regardless of the species. Mark's willingness to always unselfishly do his part is very gratifying.
Bad. Oh, yeah, right there. Man, was that cool. God, dog. We're down here on a managed hunt, helping the 74 ranch out, and they need to take X amount of does. And she came out, gave me a perfect broadside shot right there at about 60, 70 yards, and I just put her down. She didn't run 30 yards. Whew. Man, that was exciting. Cool. It's a nice mature Texas doe, and that's what you do when you manage. You try to keep that herd balanced, and we've certainly seen that here at the 74. I mean, they've got nearly a 1-to-1 ratio, and that's the way they're born. For every 50 buttons, there's 50 doe fawns born and managed, and that's what you do when you harvest does. And on top of that, they're a wonderful thrill. I got as excited with her as I do any deer. Nice, nice doe.
Here again, I don't think any Drury Outdoors tape would be complete, certainly if it has whitetail in it, to not include some doe harvest. You know, we preach so hard and we talk so hard about whitetail management. Well, we took some bucks, we showed you a nice doe kill from down there in Texas. Now let's go into the segment of the tape that I think is most exciting for Terry and I. It's a compilation of sequences that we filmed over the last 2 or 3 years that involve the wild coyote. And it really shows the interaction between coyote and deer, because we're so into the deer hunting and the deer management, and the more time we spend out there, the more we realize how Mother Nature's interaction between coyote and deer is so prevalent. And I think we've got some scenes here that everybody's going to be quite amazed with.
Often discussed or mentioned in jest, but rarely given the amount of time they deserve, the wary coyote, I'm convinced, is just one of nature's answers to the check and balance system. If things get slightly out of balance, the coyote seems to be one of nature's ways to keep it all in check.
A little coyote come through, a little too far for a shot. There's that coyote coming back. He's carrying a leg in his mouth of an adult deer.
These relentless predators will stop at nothing to support their existence. Territorial by nature, their survival is unfortunately at the top of the food chain. It's almost unthinkable, but when a coyote feels the need to eat or feed their young, an adult deer doesn't have a chance.
I wish he was a little closer. Man alive. There he goes. Man alive. Every once in a while we get a reminder of how harsh Mother Nature can be. Coyote come walking through here earlier this morning. I couldn't get a shot at him. He just come back with a deer's leg that looked fresh killed, but my guess is it's been killed a day or two. We filmed him take him down. A lot of people think they can't do it. It takes 1 or 2 coyotes to take an adult deer down. That was an adult deer's leg. It wasn't even a fawn. Got a big problem with them when they're that thick, but it's kind of Mother Nature's check and balance. You know, sometimes hunting pressure isn't enough to keep your numbers down. Sometimes you need Mother Nature's help, but I might get old Tad Brown up here and give me some help taking care of those coyotes.
There may be another wildlife species as adaptable as the coyote, but it's tough to imagine one. From the wilderness of Canada to the inner city of LA, coyotes thrive, thanks to their tremendous intelligence and ability to eat a variety of foods. This ingenuity has led many biologists to say that when the world gets too inhospitable for other animals, there will still be coyotes. Related to the wolf and the fox, coyotes combine the strength and endurance of their larger cousin, the sleekness and craft of their smaller one. The size and coloration of coyotes is as varied as their habitat. Animals living in northern forested climates are gray-brown and may weigh over 40 pounds. Prairie coyotes are noted for their light-colored fur and sleeker frame. Coyotes mate in January and February and deliver 2 to 4 pups in spring. The yipping and howling of coyotes at dusk has led to their colorful nickname, song dogs. Reveled by some people and worshipped by others, the coyote elicits strong feelings wherever it's found. But the coyote appears not to care how man feels about him. The resilient predator seems to have only one mission: to survive and sing another day. Well, unless you have actually witnessed it and can attest to their uncanny savvy and relentless pursuit, you would never imagine such an unthinkable act. But I saw it happen with my own eyes and must admit it was one of the most gruesome occurrences I have ever seen. Full to the point he can barely walk, after having devoured an adult deer that squirted through in the foreground, 2 coyotes sent chills up my spine and left me with a very sick feeling in my stomach. Until you've seen the actual chase or heard bones cracking while they're tugging at their quarry, your opinion of Mother Nature's predators just cannot be the same.
We're down here in South Texas on a deer hunt, and I shot a buck. And I've shot a couple does, so I'm done. And I'm gonna try doing some predator calling. We've hit a couple spots already with no luck. We climbed up in this blind, and we can see pretty good out in front of us, so I'm gonna give it a whirl. I'm gonna try the new wooden call. Down here, you want to be able to cut through this brush. This wooden call's got a good coarse sound to it. I've not predator hunted much. Just what I've learned from Tad. Trying to mock what he does. He said the main thing you want is just realism. But if I can call one in, I know anybody can. Right there, here comes one. cool. Man, was that awesome. We're down here trying the new call. And we've tried 2 or 3 setups with no luck. We got in this blind, so we had good cover in here. And we're down here on a deer hunt. We shot some does, so we thought we'd try some predator call. And I tried the new call, and I mean, he worked right into it perfect. He got a little hesitant right out there, but I got him right there. Whew. Muzzle loading for predators, that's kind of cool. That's awesome. Awesome.
There he lays, right here. Woo! Black powder. Fantastic. Man, look at that coyote. It's a big one. Well, that was a neat hunt. Deer weren't moving and tried to run a predator call and in he came. Fantastic.
Predator hunting has become increasingly more popular among sportsmen, particularly in areas where the numbers are extremely high. An overabundance of predators such as coyotes, bobcats, or fox can inflict an inordinate amount of stress on an entire deer herd, which indirectly can influence travel patterns, feeding times, and ultimately antler development.
The coyotes up here are just unbelievably thick. And every chance we get an opportunity, we're going to try and harvest them. We've been running the does around and the fawns, yearlings, and then taking them down here in the field. We've seen it happen. There's too many of them, too thick.
If you happen to be one of the many hunters scratching your head as to why you are seeing fewer turkeys, fewer pheasants, fewer rabbits, and fewer deer in your particular hunting area, but you are seeing an unusually high number of predators, whether it be coyotes, bobcats, or fox, then check with your local conservation agent for trapping and hunting regulation and quotas for predators. It may open up a whole new season for you.
Something coming right at us. What is that? What's a coyote? Coyote coming right at us. Coyotes are heck on deer and heck on turkeys. There's too many of them, so that was a neat hunt. He came in the water. He came right to the water. I let him get right down to the edge. And he noticed us right at the last, but it was too late.
meat hunt.
There he lays, right where he dropped. Oh man, I'll tell you what, that was exciting. I think about the only thing that I wouldn't shoot a coyote for is a trophy whitetail. Other than that, these coyotes need to be taken. And what a pretty hunt he gave us. He came across the field right coming into the water, and I thought, well, he's coming anyway. I had the wind with me, so I let him get right almost down to the pond, and then he noticed me up in the tree. And I want to tell you, we have had great luck not only with deer, but of course with predators. In this case, it was a great hunt.
About 7:30, we just had this coyote come running out of the woods. Been seeing a bunch of them around here. So I figured I'd take him, cut down on the herd a little bit. We ain't been seeing no deer yet, so I don't think it's gonna hurt much.
We're out here at one of my family's farms. We was out here hunting today, and that coyote come across the field and come in running. Something spooked him. We don't know what it was. And so I went ahead and took him. We got plenty of them out here. I've been seeing lots these last couple years. A couple years ago, I had right around 20 of them around me underneath the tree stand one night. So that spooked me enough where if I get a shot at one anymore, I'm taking it. Since the snow's on and blowing real good, they're out feeding. It's about 25 degrees today, and so one down and bunches to go.
Boy, some gripping visual evidence of how coyotes can affect the deer population. When we're in a situation where it's legal to take a coyote, we go ahead and do so. Because, you know, through the years, Terry and I have seen more and more interaction between coyotes and deer, and on our own farms, we've actually seen instances where the coyote population we felt was taking the deer population down. So we're pretty aggressive against those coyotes because we're very interested in raising more and more whitetails, and you know, we got some pretty graphic reminders there of how the coyotes affect the deer population. Now let's go to scenic New Mexico with the NRA's Bernie Herr on a beautiful spot and stalk hunt for elk.
Now we'll tag along with Bernie Herr on a spot and stalk elk hunt. Spot and stalk hunts can be challenging both physically and mentally. Be prepared for demanding treks, pushing your body to extreme limits. Make sure to wear proper clothing and remember to carry a good set of optics. For those who have been lucky enough to venture out on an elk hunt, know that it is one thing to spot a herd, but clearly a whole nother ballgame when it comes to stalking up on them. There are numerous sets of eyes that can detect you and an entire herd of noses that can wind you. It is imperative to keep the wind in your favor at all times. Only a slight air current in the wrong direction can get them up and moving. Maneuvering through thick cover with the wind in your favor is the only way to get around and in front of the herd. This normally requires a lot of walking and stalking. You must be prepared to drop down and make the shot at a moment's notice. If you look real closely, you can watch the trajectory of Bernie's bullet, something rarely caught on tape.
Well, Bernie, coming out this afternoon that we got into them tracks off the road there, I thought, boy, we're gonna get into some elk today.
Yeah, we saw a lot of tracks.
And so when we got up there on that ridge back there, that we seen these elk bedded, come out there, and what'd you think of when that 3-bite come out on us?
Well, it was interesting. He stood right there for 15 minutes and fed right there 75 yards away. And but he was just not quite the one I wanted.
Yeah, he wasn't very well. And then after he left, finally the cow started coming out, and then this guy come out. We almost had him there, didn't we?
Yeah, but I never really got beat on him. He walked through that clearing real fast and disappeared into the bushes there. So we snuck up on him down here.
Yeah, we had to put a little bit of a stalk on him. We got around on him.
And Gold 338 did the job.
Yep, I'd say it did its nice job. And this first blood it drew, huh?
Yeah, it's the first blood.
Well, let's go ahead and get our business out of here and get this guy cleaned up and see how we can get down here to get him out. Because I think that storm that they're talking about moving in. So.
There are few animals that symbolize the American West like the elk. From South Dakota's Black Hills to the rainforests of the West Coast, elk live in the wild, lonely country that's been drawing people west for decades. And with populations at all-time highs, there may be no better time than right now for first-time elk hunters to learn the sport. One of the largest members of the deer family, elk cut an impressive figure. The antlers of even an immature raghorn bull stand high and heavy, and the headgear of a mature animal is guaranteed to put your heart in overdrive. But many of us don't even need to see a bull to experience a 5-star adrenaline rush. Just hearing the shrill, piercing bugle of a herd bull challenging a rival is the essence of elk hunting for many hunters. As regal as elk are, the places they live are just as awesome. Thousands of hunters venture west each fall, hoping to come home with a bull. Most of us leave just happy to have wandered in elk country for a while. The snowy mountain peaks of New Mexico are truly a beautiful sight to behold. The durable elk of this region are on the move as NRA member Tom Duran stalks a mature bull on his first ever elk hunt. This is also Tom's first trip out west. Spotting a large herd on the move, they swiftly maneuver downwind so they can position themselves in front of the herd's path.
5x4? Yeah. Wasn't that something? Checking out that other bull down here. Sneaking up. Just looking back, and there's this other bull here.
Yeah.
Give you that old thumbs up.
And when you did, my heart jumped right into my throat.
I'll tell you, I looked back and I seen him. I just seen horns coming out of the woods. And he just walked out perfect for us. He did.
It was textbook. I mean, I couldn't have, I've been thinking about this for a long time. This is my first trip out west. My first elk. And that bull was standing broadside, 125, 150 yards?
125, 150, exactly.
And I thought, all right, this is it. There was no question I was taking this bull. I mean, it's not a no-brainer to keep the crosshairs on, where they got to be, because you're going. I mean, I was going anyway. I lit up, boy. Oh, this is just so awesome. Here it is, December the 12th, and it's not the easiest time of year to hunt. I mean, we've been working. We've seen, I don't know, over 100 elk, would you say?
At least
a lot of spikes, a lot of cows.
A lot of cows and a few bulls.
Yeah.
Finally.
And we covered a lot of ground, and I'll tell you what, it's been worth every step, because you just can't explain the feeling. He's not a monster. You take bigger bulls than this, but I am thrilled to death.
Well, first time bull, it's awesome. Congratulations again.
It's got me coming back.
Boy, those Rocky Mountain elk, they live in some of the prettiest places in North America. Two beautiful hunts from Tom Durand and Bernie Herr there out in northern New Mexico. Well, let's go into a very special piece for this tape. It's very near and dear to mine and Terry's hearts. This is Jeff and Chris Probst. Jeff has been a lifelong friend to both Terry and myself, and we've seen Chris literally grow up from a baby all the way into the young man and young hunter that he is today. And I think this piece is so special because it showcases, number one, the relationship between father and son, but also two very good friends hunting and hunting partners together. Jeff and Chris are best of friends, and Jeff takes the camera along to film Chris on all of his different adventures, and luckily he shared it with us here at Drury Outdoors and also shared some of their insights as far as what it's like to become so close through the hunting life.
Started off, I guess, 1998. My son was 11 years old, and I videoed him actually shooting his second deer with a bow.
We kept hearing something walking, my dad and I. So we kept listening and listening and listening. We knew we heard something walking, we could never see it. So finally I stood up and I got my bow, and by that time, seen an ear wiggle in the background, and then we seen this doe come up, and there was two does. The first one came up, she walked about 7 yards underneath my stand, and I drew my bow and she heard me. The cam popped or something, so she stopped and she kind of like looked around like, what's going on? And then I just had her right there and I shot her, and it was just a great experience, and she just dropped right there. I hit her a little bit high, but it was a great hunt. My first Iowa turkey was really neat.
I guess it was the spring of '99. It was really neat. A good friend of mine lives up in the northern part of Missouri.
My dad was with me, and another guy named Brian Brooks was there to call. And
he actually had permission to hunt on it. We went in to hunt it, and it was a real quick hunt. I mean, we got in there, and the lighting was kind of poor on the video because it was very early. The turkeys, we seen them. I actually could see them sitting in the trees.
We got to watch a lot of turkeys fly into the field and seen them strut and watch these hens for a while. And
there was a big boss gobbler in the bunch, and then the one that Chris actually took. And he just kind of peeled away from the boss gobbler and the hens and come sneaking into our decoy setup. We kind of knew he was a satellite turkey, so he came right in, and Chris made a good shot.
Got to hold real tight on his neck because he's close. Get your safety on. You better get your gun up. Kill him when you can. Kill him, Buck. Kill him. Good job, buddy. All right, Bubba. Dusted him.
This turkey came up, walked up, and he just was right there, 15 steps probably, and I just hit him perfect
right in, and Chris made a good shot, and it was a great hunt. We had a big rainstorm the night before, and the turkey was wet, and everything was wet and soggy. It was kind of miserable conditions, but it really worked out great. It was a nice gobbler.
I just hit him perfect right where he wanted to, shot him good, and he just fell right down. It was great. I think I'm fortunate because I spend a lot of time with my family and my dad, and we hunt a lot and fish and play other sports and stuff like that. And I know that there's other kids out there that don't spend those quality times with their fathers, and whether hunting or doing whatever they want to do and things like that. So my dad and I, we do a lot of stuff. I mean, since I was a little kid, and I mean, it's just been great all my life. We've hunted together and fished and played other sports. He's taught me how to shoot bows and shoot guns, and taught me safety in the outdoors and things like that. So I think it's really good that a father should teach his son things about the outdoors and just whatever a kid is interested in. I think that's really great.
Oh, this past spring of 2001, we had I just had this desire to take my son on a spring bear hunt.
First bear hunt was in Saskatchewan with my dad. We went to an outfitter up in northern Saskatchewan.
Decided to go up and try to get him his first bear with a bow, and naturally I had to take the video camera along, so it was a great hunt. We worked really, really hard.
We hunted days. We hunted one day all day long and didn't see a bear. We hunted for several nights. The third night we finally seen a bear.
This was a tougher one. We weren't seeing a lot of activity in the evening sets, so we actually decided to do some midday hunting, which is somewhat unusual for black bear hunting, but it worked out perfect. We were actually into the 6th day of our 6-day hunt, and we decided to go in and make a morning set. We actually got on the stand about 10 a.m.
The father-son dynamic duo of Jeff and Christopher Probst have spent countless hours together developing a special bond. They have taught us that it isn't about the harvest as much as it is spending quality time together, an education for our youth about the great outdoors.
Perfect. You drilled him. Perfect shot. Is he down? He's right there. He's down. Look at me. Pull your head and head down. Yes. You got him. Beautiful shot. Oh, you smoked him. Whoa, you did awesome.
The bear came in. He had no clue we were there.
He fed on some oats for a while and then finally presented me a quarter-inch shot, and it was perfect.
Chris made a perfect shot. I was so excited I couldn't hardly contain myself.
And I just hit him right where he wanted to, and he only went about 20 yards. And for my dad to be there and film it and all that, it was just great experience.
Oh my God. This is awesome.
This is the last day of our hunt. This is the 6th day. We can't hunt tonight because we have to fly out so early in the morning. We've been hunting. We hunted for 4 solid days. We've seen one bear.
5 days.
5 days. This is the last day. Brand new bait. I mean, we just got in. We haven't been sitting in the stand for 45 minutes.
We ain't been here 20 minutes.
Been here 20. I mean, I could hear the four-wheeler going away when I seen this bear coming in. We had not been here 20 minutes. This bear walked in. He's been standing there for probably 5 minutes.
Perfect.
He's licking them oats down there. And he finally got turned around, gave me a quarter-way shot, and I drilled him perfect.
You did perfect.
It was an ideal setup. The bear came in. He had no clue we were there. He fed for 4 or 5 minutes, and I actually was running my camera, and I was running low on tape, so I had to stop the camera and wait for the bear to give us the right angle before I could proceed filming. And Chris made a perfect shot. I was so excited I couldn't hardly contain myself.
I mean, it was so great because my dad was there. He helped me talk me through the whole hunt. He was just probably more excited than I was.
Really, it taught him the value of persistence and patience, because we had to hunt for 6 solid days, morning and evening. We really put our time in, and when it come down to crunch time, he made a perfect shot, and that really taught him a lot about being persistent. But it was really exciting. I was so excited I about fell out of the tree. I guess of all the video work I've done, there's just nothing compares to the elk hunt that I filmed with Christopher in the fall of 2000.
You know, my first elk, that was awesome. I've always wanted to have a chance to hunt elk, and in 2000 I did.
It's just something that I'm an absolute elk hunting nut. I love it. I live to elk hunt in the fall. I love to hunt elk with a bow, and I decided I wanted to take him on a hunt with me.
I went to northern New Mexico, and me and my dad went there hunting, and the first night we even hunted, I seen a really, really nice bull some cows, and I seen mule deer and turkeys.
Very, very good spot to hunt. The water holes were few and far between in the area that we were hunting. It was really, really dry. So we put our time in on the water holes. The first evening we set up, this very first night of our hunt, we, in the footage we'll show, I filmed this bull come in that Chris actually ended up taking. He came in with several cows and calves, and as luck would have it, he came in and he wouldn't give us a good shot. Their angle was a little bit messed up, and there was one branch in the way, and Chris did the right thing.
Wait until he gets over here.
First bull, when he came in, I couldn't get a shot, and he was only there probably 25 yards. And I mean, there was just one little branch in the way. I couldn't get a shot.
Chris did the right thing. I told him to shoot 2 or 3 times, but what I really didn't know was there was one branch in his way, and he held off, which I was really proud of. After the elk left, and you can see they went up on the pond dam, and they stood there for the longest time, and I think what happened is they got a little bit of our wind. One of the cows jerked her head up out of the water, and it appeared to me that she had smelled us. Well, what they did is there's another water hole about 80 to 100 yards below our setup where we actually filmed the bull the first night. And they all went down to that water hole.
So we went to this other water hole, and we made this ground blind. So that night, we were sitting there, and it was pretty good. It was starting to get later in the evening. It was about 10 after 7 there.
The water hole was kind of unique because it was just a little seep, but for some reason they were really using this hole. About 5 after 7 in the evening, I heard a cow chirp on the hill, and I told Chris to get his bow ready, and I figured it was a group of cows coming in. And at that time, he would have took a cow. He was ready. It was the 4th day of our hunt, and we were only going to get to hunt 6. So I looked up, and here comes the same bull that we had seen the very first night.
the rest when you drew? Yeah, and I put it back on. Elk was about 25 yards. I had my 20 set. I just put it right on him, and I just nailed him right behind the shoulder perfect. Blood was coming out when he was running up the hill.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
The bull walked in, he let out kind of a meek bugle. He was a real old bull. He only had 2 teeth left. And I think I don't know if his bugle was a shot or what, but he couldn't hardly bugle. He walked into the water hole, and you can notice on the footage, Chris's arrow is not on the rest. And when he drew his bow back, it drug alongside the handle of his bow, and it made a noise, and the bull picked that noise up.
The bull heard me draw, and he ran about 23 yards, 22, 23, right in between there. He stopped quartering away, and I laid the arrow on the rest with my finger.
Amazingly calm. I mean, he's at full draw on this massive bull elk, and he raises the arrow up on his prongs of his rest and continued to make a perfect shot on the elk. I was just so proud, and I was really, really shocked that he kept his composure that good. But absolute perfect shot. Shot him through the heart, both lungs. The elk went about 80 yards, and it was all over, and it was a great bull. Ended up grossing 305, and the net score on it was 292. I mean, quite an animal for a 14-year-old kid, and a dream come true for Dad. So really a great hunt. Folks, I can tell you as a father, there is no better than this. Bring your son out on a hunt like this. I only wish that all fathers and sons get to spend quality time like this together. This is just an awesome experience. Beautiful animal. He's an absolute
Boy, there's a perfect example of a great relationship between father and son, and it really shows what a nice bond the outdoor life can be for all of us as hunters, whether you're father, son, or whether you're just two buddies going on a turkey hunt, or a man and wife, whatever it is, there's some special times to be had out there chasing big game animals all across North America. Well, here's the grand finale, the last hunt on the tape. This one takes place in Iowa. It's with yours truly. I'm with Brother Terry. He's doing the filming, and it just goes to show you never know what's going to show up and when whenever you're out there filming whitetail deer.
We got a full moon this morning, just starting to drop. Hit the gun loader here. You can see the moon's just starting to set, and Terry and I like to hunt as much of a morning when it's setting as we do of an evening when it's rising. Big deer. Very big deer right there. Out there in the beans. Coming this way. I'm gonna wait till he turns a little bit. He's just beating in the beans. We'll wait for a broadside shot. Come on, baby. Man, that was a big deer. He took us totally by surprise. We were just getting in, and I was talking about the rising moon or the falling moon. And I looked up, and there was a giant deer out in the middle of the bean field. And he was feeding our way. Luckily, he hadn't heard me. And he was feeding real slow. It's December the 2nd. It was 25 degrees last night. We were on one of our food plots. We've given him a little time. I think I got him, but I'm gonna get down and go over there to where I hit him, check for blood. Get my gun tied up. You know, I was sitting here talking about the moon falling when I looked up and saw that deer coming. And we talk a lot about it rising in the evening, but we also like when that moon is falling during their normal morning movement time, because we see a lot of deer getting a bite to eat or on their way back to bed that first hour or two on a falling moon. So you've got to pay not only attention to a rising moon, but also a falling moon. It's been a good blood trail. He's into this tall grass. There's blood all over here. See here, he's spraying. It all looks like lung blood. There's all kinds of blood here. It's good blood. It's freezing already. It shows you how cold it is. Everything's frozen. He's hit good. There's air in it. Blood everywhere. See where he's stumbling? Look at that. Breaking in. Ooh, baby, what a beautiful sight. Look at this, come here. Blood everywhere. He's down right there across the creek. Oh boy. Oh man, what a sight. Oh, what a glorious deer. What a glorious morning. Fantastic buck. Boy, it's not often you get to enjoy a sunrise that beautiful with a deer this nice. Fantastic buck. I feel like the luckiest hunter alive. Look at this deer. Beautiful mainframe 10-point with kickers. Just, you dream as a hunter to go in during gun season and see that big buck slipping back towards bed. You read about it, and then when it happens, it's like, I can't believe this is happening. I was sitting there actually doing an interview talking about the falling moon during the first couple hours of day, which Terry and I key in on. Just like we do a rising moon close to food source, when that moon's falling, we see a lot of deer on their feet. We actually hunted a food plot this morning. We're after the peak of the rut. This guy's no doubt had a long, hard rut, and he was coming to food this morning. And we hunt food plots in December because we see deer feed the first hour or two, and then again the last hour or two. It's December 2nd, and just a morning I won't ever forget. Beautiful, beautiful deer. The bullet did its job. We're shooting the new Parker hydraulic 265 Hydrocon, and man alive, it absolutely cleaned his clock. Good, good deer. Whew. Man, what a deer.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed the big game. We certainly tried to showcase some of the most breathtaking scenery in the great outdoors. So no matter if you're float planing into a drop camp in some remote location in Alaska after a record-book caribou, or marveling at Devil's Tower in the outreaches of Wyoming, or maybe even Canada after a wide-racked muley, or maybe just patiently waiting for days just to have an opportunity at a black bear, and then outmaneuvering a herd bull in New Mexico. Chances are we've all had an opportunity or two somewhere throughout our endeavors to match wits with a wary coyote. More than likely, while in search of a majestic whitetail or wild turkey, you know, there's something we can all relate to. It truly is the big game, each and every day. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed this production. It was created for you.